Oof. All right, all right, all right, all right.
Living at your Lord.
Here we go. The time is 4 o'clock. Come on, come on, come on. Jesus. Star 106 hits. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another Monday edition, another motivational Monday edition of Free Your Mind on your hit station. Of course, today's show is powered by KFC. I got to say thank you to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, Pinder Tile, the Cleveland Clinic, Grace Kennedy Money Services, Western Union. Thank you to the Fresh Market, Seafowl, and of course, Pinder Tile. Good to be in your company as always. On a Monday, we get into it with Coach Ricardo Miller, who is with us. I got to say good afternoon to him as well as to everybody locked and loaded. 106.5 on the FM band. Thank you to everybody on channel 976 on cable. That includes all my family islanders. And of course, our Facebook faithfuls. Star 106 and Natural Empress on Facebook. All right. So, with that said, you know, time flies during this particular hour. Let's get into it, Coach. Happy holidays to you and thank you for joining once again.
Empress, could you believe it? I mean, now we are on day 11 of the month of December. And, you know, these Mondays are built around helping people. And so I thought, boy, wouldn't it be neat to talk about 8 of the worst life decisions anyone can make? I mean, just worst decisions. And, you know, people are making bad decisions all the time.
Child, can I tell you? No, like I'm just thinking of situations and fires that I've been having to help put out
Hmm.
just in the last couple of weeks. Like people just are making silly
Yeah.
decisions, dumb mistakes, and thoughtless charting their courses with no real thought. And
And
it's crazy.
yeah, you're correct. And the unfortunate thing about it is then we sort of like try to blame external factors. You know, for the religious person, it's the devil,
And
right?
it is so
And yeah, and then for probably for the married person, it's your spouse.
true.
And then for the young person, it's your parents.
True.
And then a lot of times for the unemployed person, it's the government.
Yes, yes, yes. The government.
You know,
That's it.
but it's never me making the decisions that's messing up me. It's never me. It's always somebody else's fault. And so, Empress, we're going to dive into this. Now, here's the deal. I believe that we can change the narrative, and this is not an American thing. Hello. This is not a Caribbean thing.
Let me determine that, please. Let me be the judge. Thank you.
I know, right? I know. Watch this. Watch this. Now, you're going to agree. I'm interested in seeing if you like, I died too bad of a mistake. You ready for my mistakes list?
I'm ready, man. Let's dive.
Let's dive into this. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking today on 8 of the worst life decisions anyone can make. Okay? And that first one is to cheat on your partner.
Yikes! You come out swinging, man.
Oh,
That's number one.
yeah, that's number one. Yeah, number one. That's the worst mistake, worst decision anyone can make. First one, number one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want me
Okay,
to say?
now spouse obviously means that you're married. What about those that are seriously, and I had this conversation with somebody today, seriously dating
Uh-huh.
on the path possibly to marriage, but in a committed relationship? Does this
Any
apply?
ring? Any rings exchanged yet?
Huh?
Any rings exchanged yet?
No.
Any conversation of exclusivity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, once the conversation goes into exclusivity, it's cheating. Well, if we just talking,
Right. Okay.
if
Okay.
we if we just talking, but if you say you and I have agreed that both of us are about each other, and
Only.
it's only this is an exclusive relationship. I'm your boyfriend, you're my girlfriend. We starting to be seen publicly and doing life. We're moving in the direction.
And living together.
Oh man, living together, yeah. Yeah. You can't live with somebody and go sleep with someone else and not
Oh,
think
they
that's.
do it all the time. Come on now, stop that.
I know, but that's why I'm saying it's one of the worst life decisions anyone can make.
Okay.
Because you're with someone, but yet now here's my question is you gotta look into this. Let's dive into this. Let's dissect this a little bit. You living with something while you still gotta go look for something.
Because the something I have ain't full on it.
Then you may need to leave the something so you can go get a full on it. Like
I agree.
that's I mean, come on. Right? You gotta if for the guys, you gotta man up and say, hold on, man. Listen, I got me a package at home. Why in the world I need another package? And if you do find yourself having this mindset or this behavior where I need something else, you may want to look into why do I need something else when I have it? And there's a lot of people who are just not good within themselves. They're not in a good place, Empress. And a lot of people don't really ask themselves, why am I this way? Why is
Hmm.
this my practice or my behavior? And I'm telling you, at this stage in my life, I'm asking those kind of questions. Why? Watch this, Empress. I had a practice of eating all the food on my plate, no matter how much food it was.
Yeah, because you probably was taught, don't waste it. So that's just in you. That's embedded. That's ingrained.
Ingrained. So my wife had to tell me, she's like, was that too much food? I said, well, it's on my plate. I can eat it. You don't have to eat all that's on your plate. So I had to unlearn. I had to reprogram myself. You catch what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With some fellas, after a while, when they figure out how to connect with something, they got one girl by chance. They got a second one with skill. The third one, they feel like they're a beast. And
Yeah.
they realize, hold on, buddy. You are not supposed to be running through women like that. You're supposed to actually find, commit, and do life with. But nobody's taught them, Empress. And so, there's some guys they married the first thing they fell in love with, but only thing they didn't realize they hadn't addressed some deficiencies and some insecurities and some, watch this, longing to be all over the place. But you married now, you can't be all over the place.
Don't say that. You're supposed to be.
It's supposed to be all over the place. So yes, number one on my list of the worst life decisions anyone can make, and this is a decision that a person is making. This ain't no slip. This ain't no accident.
Right.
This ain't no chance. Okay. So that's number one, Empress. Number two. You ready for number two?
Ready for number two.
Number two, ladies and gentlemen, grab a hold of this because we're trying to help somebody. You got to realize you can change this. Now, male or female, anybody who finds himself in these positions, they can make adjustments. Now, it may take some work to make the adjustments, but the adjustments can be made. Okay. Number two, to stay in a toxic relationship. Okay. To stay in a toxic relationship. 8 of the worst life decision anyone can make. Number 2 is to stay in a toxic relationship. This relationship is making you sick. I mean, literally, you're not in a good place. Watch it, what they say, you losing weight or you putting on weight. I mean, come on. You can't sleep at night. I mean, you feel better in the parking lot of your job than than actually going home and inside your house.
That's a no. That's a no.
But there are a lot of people who are in that position and they tell you, well, I ain't got no other place to go. And listen, you can make a decision to start setting yourself up to have the option to go somewhere that is more healthier than the place that you're presiding. You don't have to stay in a toxic environment. Okay? You don't have to stay in a toxic environment. Now, here's the deal. Because some people have become accustomed of certain ways, they start to say, well, you know what? It's passed down, being taught, being verbally abusive is something you feel as though is
Normal.
the norm. Physically abusive is a norm, even emotionally abusive,
Normal.
and so you got to start looking at what is right, what is healthy. I'm looking for what is right. I'm looking for what is healthy. So a part of this is, Empress, people who are staying in toxic relationship, a lot of times they just simply need to learn how to be okay alone.
Stick a pin right there. We're gonna stick a pin in that. 'Cause I think we need to ponder on that a little bit more. We're gonna take a quick break though, find out what's happening traffic wise. We got our eye in the sky traffic report, followed by more with Coach Ricardo Miller. It's a motivational Monday right here on the Star. Personally, I know traffic is looking pretty moderate across the island. Supplement. Boy, alone? Me and my shadow? No, boy. Oh no.
Do you know some
Many
people?
people ain't into that, brother.
I know you're right. A
Ain't
lot of
into
people,
that.
yeah, a lot of people don't know how to be alone.
By myself, like me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
So
I learned a long time ago. You never left the home alone. You can't be left. You can't be left home. Yes, home.
you home, yeah.
And well, man, I got left home. No, you can't get left home. It's home.
It's home. That's home. That's like when a man say, "I gotta babysit my kids." Boy, nigga, you is a dad, bro. What you mean you baby? You gotta babysit? No, you're not babysitting. They yours.
They yours.
Boy, no, boy, I gotta babysit shorty. No, sir. You ain't babysitting nobody. You're staying home with your child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, traffic going on. Hmm. Okay.
It's 397-210-04 info about their services. I'm back now with an update. I'm double A. Just like every Christmas, let KFC bring all your favorite family members together at the table with you as the essential one. The one bringing the chicken. Enjoy a KFC festive bucket packed with 8 pieces of golden fried chicken, family fries, 4 buttery biscuits, and a half-gallon Pepsi in a free reusable beverage bag. Available for a limited time, your reusable drink bags are perfect for your future festive feasts. Make your Christmas unique with the taste of KFC. Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Fender ends the year with a gigantic thank you sale. This year, Fender's Pink Town Red sale will run until December 21st. Get a load of some of these prices. All 13 to 22 ceramic wall tiles are selling for between $195 to $215 a square foot before VAT. Check this. All porcelain 8 to 48 simulated wood planks are selling for between $415 and $457 per square foot before VAT. Merry Christmas and thank you for your support. Everything on sale except things that in growth. Fender's Paint the Town Red sale ends December 21st.
This Saturday at 8 p.m. Join the old school master for classic soul and rock and roll.
Star 106 Hits, welcome back. Free your mind on a motivational Monday. We are counting down the most terrible mistakes you can make. I mean, I don't want to just say, Coach, as we get ready to enter a brand new year, but just generally speaking, you want to put thought into the way you think and then the way, of course, you move, the things that you do, things that you can avoid. Trouble. And
Yeah.
of course, we're now at number what?
Well, number three. You know, decisions are made every day that affects a lot of people and their future. Your life is a reflection of the decisions you make every day. Now, some people are repeatedly making mistakes. That's just not the best for them. So I said, number one, okay, worst life decision anyone can make, this is anyone, is to cheat on your partner. That's number one.
Wow.
Number two is to stay in a toxic relationship.
Two.
Okay? That's stay in a toxic relationship. There are some people who say, I can't be alone. I don't know how to do this. You could do this. One of the things I teach my clients is you're not a rock. You can change.
That's right.
Now, it may be difficult to change because you've become accustomed of a particular way, but you just got to really want it. Les Brown said you got to be hungry. You got to be determined. You got to be driven. You got to be very, very committed. So number three is an interesting one, but I've been doing some studies and I found this to be very real and strong. Okay. And so number three, listen, 8 of the worst life decisions you can make. Number 3 is to drink and drive.
Well, you might as well throw text and drive too.
Drink and drive, text and drive. Listen, guys, you know the amount of lives that are being taken every year? Even there in the Bahamas, every other month there's a car flipping over on a road that only supposed to be 30 miles per hour. How in the world? Come on. And lives are being taken. Bodies are being thrown out of vehicles. After hours, people are just recklessly. If you know, okay, drinking is going to cause you to change in how you're able to respond, why are you going to do that? So I know some people who go ahead, Empress.
No, it's so funny that you mentioned drink and drive.
Yeah.
It's a terrible decision,
Yeah.
right? It's a horrible decision that one makes to think that they are totally in control. Yeah, man, I could still drink
Yeah.
this and still be
Yeah.
cognizant of everything that's going on around me on the road.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that you mentioned that because sometimes people drink,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily drive, but drink and totally find themselves out of character.
Yes.
and say things that
Yes.
they ought not to,
Yep.
destroying friendships,
Yep.
destroying family bonds based on your decision to drink and step out of characters. It's just so timely. You in the spirit, Pastor. Like real
Hey.
talk. That something like that happened to me this weekend. Not me
Mm,
drinking, but somebody else,
yeah.
and was totally out of character.
Character. Yeah.
You feel me? And then
Mhm.
you have to go now and do damage control. You now have to call the person, text the
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
give a story, try to, you know,
Yeah.
try to make amends. But you didn't have to. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? If you chose to do obviously the right thing.
You know, when I was putting this list together, I sent this to a colleague of mine, and he said, "Man, it was interesting that that's what you put down for number three because he said, man, I drink." He said, he said, Pastor, you know, I drink, you know, on the weekend, I enjoy my whatever. But he says, you know, one of the things I made a commitment to do, I only drink at home. He said, I'll sit on my porch. He said, I sit on my patio in the back. He said, I'm watching some movie. I'm playing some games with some of my friends. They come over. But I promise you, he says, I'll go out to restaurants, parties, events, and so forth. And he said, even if I'm driving or not, I just don't because I prefer to ensure that should I go a little bit beyond what I should go, I'm in the confinements of my home. I can just fall asleep in my sofa
Yes,
or whatever and it is what it is. But I really wanted to really lean in on the fact that there are a lot of lives
that I
uh,
take it.
that are taken every year because there are people who are irresponsible with this whole managing their intake of alcohol.
That brings me to another friend of mine who just last week had the very gruesome task of having to pull the plug of a family member who in the US
Mhm.
was going on their merry way, and um, a drunk driver hit this
Mhm.
person's family member and their child. And the
Wow.
child obviously whew, was hit and ended up brain dead.
Wow.
Yeah. And life was just taken. You know what I mean? So
It's real.
the decision to and this was a child. This person who hit them was a what, 21-year-old
Wow.
who decided to drink beyond what they could handle.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, interesting, Empress. Let's go to number four because it really connects a little bit with number three, and that is number four. We're talking about 8 of the worst life decision anyone can make. And number four is to not take an emerging addiction seriously. Okay. Number four is to not take an emerging addiction seriously. And why I say that is because what a lot of people don't realize, Emperor, you know, when I hung out on the streets, one of the things no fella could tell you was that they saw me smoking because I didn't have a problem with fella smoking, but I just didn't understand my level of management in regards to something that can become an addiction. Now, here's what I knew. I saw this happening. 5 friends go into a bar, all walk out with a beer. 2 years later, only one of them stand up in the front of the bar, literally overtaken by alcohol, and the other 4 is having a lifestyle that is just respectable because they learn how to manage it.
Right.
Same thing with marijuana. Like five, the joints pass around. 4 of them could still work, do life, enjoy life, or other different forms of drugs. But that one person ends up leaning over to it in a state of extreme need. And so one of the things I'm big on is, okay, what is an emerging addiction that I have to watch? And a lot of people aren't paying attention. Watch this. This is what we all have to pay attention. This is addictive. What is that? That whole idea that something is addictive. And then watch this, Empress. Something is addictive and I enjoy doing that something. Woo. Now, is this addiction so wild and so damaging and dangerous that, boy, I might as well just choose not to even engage at all?
Right.
Because I don't know if I'm the one who would not be able to walk away.
Right.
And that's just one of those things people have to pay attention to. We've all known somebody, they've done the most extreme and they got away with it. They've done the most extreme with addictive behaviors, but then we've all seen lives that have been wrecked by somebody
Totally.
who just tried it one time.
Mash up.
just,
Mash up.
just one time. And so, it's important. It's important for people to pay attention to emerging addiction that is serious. I talked to my son about, that's an addictive behavior. That's something right there that can become, let me use the religious term, it can become a stronghold. It can become something now you end up the rest of your life trying to fight. And some of the stuff you just got to choose. I'm not going to introduce myself to something that becomes an addictive behavior that I can't manage, because some people can manage it,
And some can't.
And some can't. And here's the deal. I don't want to be the one only to discover that I thought I could manage it. Because oftentimes, Empress, everybody, man, I can stalk whatever I want to stalk.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The lie they often tell.
Do you know you lost your last two jobs you lost because of this? Do you know the last two relationships you have was ruined because of this? You don't even care for your children because of this particular thing. And I mean, what for a lot of the younger people who are listening, let's talk about computer games. Computer games is addictive. As a matter of fact, watch this.
Social media.
I was just about to go there, Empress. Social media is addictive, right? And on our phones now, they're actually giving you a chance to see how much time,
screen time,
how much time we put in. You see?
Yeah.
So,
you ever see these young people? Well, you wouldn't see because you ain't know about no power outage like that no more, right? Or they're working on, whatever, the internet or the power lines or whatever, and they can't access their favorite website or gaming whatever. It's like they can't live.
Yeah, you're right.
We used to be mad just because if the power goes, you're hot. Other than that, we found something to do. Go outside and do something, or you know what I mean?
Yes.
They can't handle it.
You're right. You're right. Let's go on to number 5, Empress. Number 5 serves as a notice for the time that we're in, and that is not seeking treatment for your mental or physical health. It's a worst life decision anyone can make. Number 5, not seeking treatment for your mental or physical health. You know that you need to get help. Okay? You ain't doing well. But you're choosing to ignore. Psychologically, you're off. Emotionally, you're off. Physically, you're off. I was talking to a client a couple of days ago, and they said, man, my energy is just, I just can't get up out of bed in the morning. I can't sleep at night. I said, you should look into that. He said, what do you mean? I said, you're a professional. You make good money. Go ahead and look into that. You want to look into it. Because not seeking treatment, not seeking help in regards to your mental and physical health can, 1, affect you from maximizing your potential. 2, it can ruin your relationship with your spouse and children. 3, it can very much so limit your level of happiness and enjoyment in life. You could start acquiring things, but not enjoying the life with the things you've acquired because you don't understand the pain that you're going through is sucking the life out of you. Or this mental unstableness that you haven't paid attention to, that others are telling you. You moody, right? Man, you just a switch like that. I don't switch like that. Listen, if everybody is saying it.
Everybody can't be wrong.
Everybody can't be wrong.
We're going to take a quick break on that one. You know what it is? Free your mind on a Motivational Monday. Stick around. More to come.
Like cancer, we band together.
But I'm me.
I'm
me. Yeah, you but I'm me. Yeah, that's real. All right, here we go. Will be. Here we go. Star 106 hits. Welcome back. Free of mind on a motivational Monday. 8 of the worst life decisions anyone can make. Our topic for the day, of course, on this motivational Monday. Coach,
We are helping people today, Empress, and we're now on number 6. Yeah, we're on number 6. And ladies and gentlemen, this decision is a unique one, but a lot of people find this to be real, and that is living life as if you are 18 when you're not.
what you talking about, Willis? I live life like I 18. Come on now.
No, what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the person who ain't growing up. They
Oh,
still,
I'm
when
no,
they
no.
get paid on Friday, they
Slow it
act
down.
like they 18. In that it's all about, watch this. I remember when fellas them would just play, they buy they fresh tennis. All they had to do is they want some fresh pair of shoes on, some nice pants or a little, they polo shirt or whatever, Ralph Lauren, whatever. And just 2 drinks, they said, bite, I straight now. Like, look at me, I fresh. And then on Monday, these fellas them are right back.
Broke as a joke.
Yes. Just, I mean, literally in a bad state. And so it's crazy that this is a reality where there are people, okay, who have never grown up. Empress, I'm talking about, I've been watching certain dudes walk the same way, talk the same way, spending money the same way. Just like, I'm thinking,
Boy, you ain't gonna grow up?
hey, buddy, I know you frustrating some woman, but because you too close to 50 and still trying to have all of these 18-year-old
Behavior.
trending
Yeah.
behaviors.
Yeah.
Okay? So failing to develop and mature is real. Okay?
It's amazing. I wonder if this was a typo or this was intentional. Keep on saying immature mind, splurging through money, sleeping around, no goals or drive, sleeping around again. So was that intentional?
And that was good because it's real. It happens. And so you're living life as though you're 18 and you're not. You're not a kid.
YOLO, YOLO, YOLO.
Come on. The Bible says it this way. When I was a child, I act as a child. I spoke as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Yeah, there comes a time you gotta be like, but that ain't me no more. he said I need to add sleeping around again. and here's the deal. This is a part of that 18 as well, Empress, where you didn't sow your royal oats early on and got around while you were, 15 or 16 or 17 and you were like whatever, all over the place. So now you watch this, you're 25 and you're committed. You got a ring on, you got a family you're trying to start, but you just now discovering you got a little game. You got now a little money. You got some attraction coming out where your car, and some women at the office is now looking at you. So now you're starting to feel like you want to flex it. But you don't lose your window, babe. You don't lost your window. You're a married man. Okay? Hey, watch this. You're a married woman. So now listen, slow your roll down and accept that daddy ain't your run no more.
For real.
Okay? You missed that window. Some fellas missed the window. Empress, I remember one fella went to school with me, right? He went to C.H. Reeves with me. And let me tell you, Empress, this fella wasn't no Bible. As a matter of fact, he was the fella I said, wait, let me see your paper, babe. Right? He had to lean his paper so I could copy, right? And so he was straight up one of those fellas. Now, here's the deal. Fast forward, we all left school. I didn't even know where he went to school, but he went off. He went off eventually, went to foreign, and then he came back, got kicked out of college. right? Came home, I think about 21 or something like that. And he saw me in the mall, right? And he was like, but what you saying? Boy, you remember me? I'm thinking, who you is, boy? Right? He thinking his little tattoo and his double ring earrings and his little sagging and his little handkerchief for his pocket
Why
often.
everything little, man? What's wrong with you?
It's little because he thinking it authorized him to run up on me talking about those were the days. Empress, he was like, those were the days. But what you talking about? Those were the days. But you wasn't even allowed to come in that section. But he's now moving into the prime. And I looked at him, and it was that moment I realized, Jesus Christ, this dude missed the window. He didn't realize when you were in school, when you were a kid, you could do a lot of things that now at your age, play.
Come
You
on.
need to step up. And here's the deal. Long story short, this dude ended up crackhead out. This dude lost himself, literally. What in my ninth grade,
Reality.
8th grade and 9th grade, he was the smartest kid in our class. He wasn't even allowed to hang, right? And then he went off and somehow ended up feeling as though, you know what? I can try to be all things cool. But you miss your window, but cool. You need to man up.
Wow.
You see? So let's go on, Empress. Number 7. Number 7 is a really big one, and that is living without clear goals and ambition. Living, and I think when I talk about 8 of the worst life decision anyone can make, I think number 7 is major, even though it doesn't have a shock and awe factor to it. Living without clear goals and ambition. You know, the late Dr. Miles Monroe said it this way. He said, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Okay, so to not have an idea as to what you're going to do with your week, your month, your year, you're going to squander it. So somebody said, but what you doing today? Well, I ain't doing nothing. What you doing this week? I ain't doing nothing. What you doing this month? I ain't doing nothing. What you doing this year? I ain't doing nothing. So guess what happens? Idle hands is the devil workshop. So now you ain't doing nothing. You ain't got no job. You ain't got no car. You ain't got no plans for the future. And you see that chick across the street who off on a day watch this. You're sitting on the porch hanging out. She off, and now you got her you know you cool enough to get her, but you ain't strong and sustainable enough to keep her.
Mm-hmm.
Hold her. So now you got this chick who got an idea of wanting to do life at another level, connecting with a dude who has no kind of ambition, no kind of clear goal, no kind of vision. The Bible says that where there is no vision,
People perish.
So it's a huge mistake to have days and not know why, weeks and not know why, months and not know why. So we're about to close out this year, Empress, and there are a lot of people who are listening to us who's going to be given a new year, but they don't know what to do with it. Number 8, and I'm done, Empress. Listen to this one. Number 8, this is big, and this is Bohemian, Empress. This is all Bohemian. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Number 8, we're talking about, worst life decisions anyone can make. And number 8 is not saving for retirement.
Well, that's how old people like. Young I am. Like, I don't have to think about that right now.
And here's the deal. For that young person who's saying that, look around them and see the people who are aged out to some degree, what we call very senior, who did not do
Save
their
for a
due
rainy
diligence.
day. That's right.
Look at them. And I'm talking about the imagery is saddening, sickening, discouraging, just in some cases frustrating, because you're like, oh my Lord, this person was in their prime. They were the who's who. They were doing. I mean, they really had a lot going on. And I think from a culture, from a Bahamian standpoint, we got to ask ourselves, how are we doing with the aging process of sustaining and maintaining adults who, unlike years ago, you go to a family island, the need level was so much less, right? There was not a high demand, but now all of the islands have become globalized, meaning everybody want everything that everybody had. And so there is no lower standard of living that is acceptable in most islands. Everybody want to live up.
Yes.
And so if they're spending more than they should, more than likely when life puts the aging process into play and they start to look at they can't make the money that they were making early on, but yet they have age in front of them, a lot of people are going to find themselves living at a state of frustration and pain and misery, and it's just not going to be good. So I think it's very important that we look at ourselves and say, okay, I have to think for the long haul. I can't just think for Christmas. I have to think for the long haul. Because Empress, some people spend their money for Christmas like, boy, like this is the last year they'll ever have a Christmas, only to find out there's still 20 more Christmas for them in the future. All of us have been given we got about 70 Christmas. So watch this, all depending on your age, you look at it, you're like, okay, I mean, I got about 20 more, right? But here's the deal, the level and energy that we have to work today, you're not going to have the same level of energy 5 years from now. But when you are no longer able to work, the question is, can you still sustain your lifestyle to ensure that you are able to enjoy life because you've done the work early on to prepare for retirement?
That's food for thought right there. A lot of people, we tend to apply the idea of crossing that bridge when we get there. That's the aiming way, man. Listen, when we get there, we'll deal with that.
Yeah.
And until then, I'm living it up.
And that's the truth. And then people be like, they trying to make me feel bad. Well, one of the things I realized for this generation that's coming up, guess what you can't do, Empress? You ain't making them feel bad, but they walk off. Hey, my generation and the older ones above me,
you could have played that.
They have some kind of
compassion, yeah.
Some kind of compassion. But boy, these ones that are coming up, boy,
you're on your own.
You on your own.
That's real.
You better take care of your affairs, ladies and gentlemen.
Coach, food for thought on a Monday. Thank you so much. Thank you. As always, look forward to what we got as we getting ready to close out this year. I think there's some other fundamentals we need to touch on. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Most certainly.
All right?
Yep.
And of course, to you guys, y'all know what's coming up. Top of the hour, 5 o'clock. We're going to drive into the Monday, into the work week. Right here when you drive at 5. I'll see you then.
Fresh Market, we believe in the power of a fresh.
Wait, well, you know what I want to talk about?
What you want to talk about?
I think is imperative is this misconception that a lot of people, not just here in the Bahamas, but I find in the islands, in the Caribbean, that your children are your old age pension.
Wow. Yeah.
I put you through school. I made sure you had food on the table, clothes on your back. It's payback. That ain't how it works.
Let's make that a conversation next week.
Yeah.
I got 2 other people. I think we could do 4 of us. You and 2 other people. And let's have a conversation like that. Because I think, and these are people who are at that state now where all respectively have a position of, how did you have to play that out, or would you play it out, or what advice?
You gotta plan. As much as you love your children, the goal is to set them up to be self-sufficient, right? So that whatever you have, you could hang on to, because there is no guarantee that they can even look at you.
Correct.
You understand? Unlike you guys in the US, where y'all have even the nursing homes or whatever. For us, we ain't really got them like that. So you on your own. You in the house. Your parents living by themselves, they separated, so your daddy by himself, your mom. It ain't cool. You better have your pennies together. Telling you. We'll talk about it, though.
We'll talk about it. All right, Empress. Have a good day.
All right, doll. See y'all later.
See you later.